Hello, everybody, and welcome back into That Real Texas Team podcast, episode 65. We're here tonight to talk about the divisional preview, and with me, as always, Mike, a.k.a. the man behind the camera, a.k.a. Sir Shiny. I couldn't come up with anything else. I'm sorry. Can you all do me a giant solid? Go on over to Mass 3 Productions across all the social medias, like, subscribe, notifications, do the followings. Just don't physically follow this man around. Don't do that. Not encouraging stalking. Don't do that.
Not again.
No. Down here at the bottom, we got our main man, Chris, a.k.a. Pac-Man Freestyle, a.k.a. Slim Chickens, host of That's Crazy Podcast and Talk. Please go like, subscribe, notification bell over there. Help his content reach a new audience. Do the same thing while you're at it. Takes about 15 seconds realistically to click a couple buttons and go over to the next channel and do the same. So to help us out a lot and get us in front of more Texans fans. With that being said, gentlemen, we're in the divisional round again. Let's breathe that in for a second. How does it feel?
It'll feel good after we beat. It'll feel better when we beat Kansas City.
Damn, Skippy.
Oh, it's gonna feel amazing.
It's nice to be here, you know? You're one of the final, 8 teams? The Elite 8 of the NFL. A lot of people didn't think we'd be here. A lot of people thought we'd be at home by this point. But the defense said, go fuck yourself to the San Diego Chargers, as Mike would call them. And now we're squaring up for a redo or a sequel fight to the Kansas City game earlier this season, which we lost 27-19. Gentlemen, just before we get into everything, specifically, what about this game feels different than the first time we played them?
Aziz Al-Shaair.
Foley,
yeah.
Two very important parts of our defense.
Yeah.
They're here.
Very true.
Oh, and I have to say it now. I dare Patrick Mahomes to do that fake slide shit. I dare you.
Yeah. He'll get popped for sure. We know that. Also, before we get into too much, Deontay Johnson was waived by the team. And while I was definitely a positive Pete about the whole situation, Chris was waving red flags the entire fucking time, talking about all sorts of different things about this young man. So, Chris, you were right. Have your moments, sir.
All right. Well, so first of all, I don't care about being right. Just glad that he is off our team, because what I heard to start off was after the game, and these are just things that reports that I saw before he even got waived, was that he was unhappy because I told y'all whenever we did the reaction for the game, I don't even remember him seeing him catch that one pass.
Well,
and for you to be angry at just think about it, and now you're back on a team who waived you before that you're not even going to get to play for. At least you're getting a check. At least he's going to get a check because he should. I'm assuming he's going to get a check, some sort of check for even being picked up by them. Fine, whatever. But the thing about it is, he's not going. I think they're just doing him a favor. He's not. I don't even see him being on a team next year until he fixes his attitude. I think he would have been a good possession receiver. I'm not trying to talk about his game. I think that he would have been a good possession receiver. I was wondering why I didn't see him, but that if he was doing it at the end of the game, he was doing it before the game. He was doing it during practice, which means that he was already unhappy, and which is probably why he only had that one. What was it? One target? It was one target.
Yeah,
one target. Yes, he caught the ball. When the hell did he catch that? Were we already up by 20 points then when he caught this ball? I'm just like I said, I didn't even see this part that he actually caught a pass. But like I said, I don't even care about being right. But when you see receivers like that, this is my thing. you know, we're all in those Facebook chat groups and, you know, different types of Houston Texans groups. You know, that all they do is name receivers that we should never pick up. I'm just being so honest. Chase Claypool. Why do you want Chase Claypool? You just add Deontay Johnson again.
Yeah.
The exact same thing. First of all, I don't want anybody that comes from Pittsburgh. I'm being honest with you. I don't want anybody that comes from Pittsburgh because for some reason they all have attitude problems. All of them. They have attitude problems. Why would I want anybody from Pittsburgh? Odell Beckham. I do not want Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham has not been the same since he got hurt in the Super Bowl. They're a receiver. You know, what is he going to? My thing about it now, people are like, yeah, Odell Beckham would be a great pickup. Stephon Diggs is a great pickup. You want to know why? Last year he had 1,100 yards. You know what I'm saying? So you have to respect Stephon Diggs. If I'm out there playing DB, I don't respect Odell Beckham. I'm going to let him go. I'm going to let him go and double go. Like it sounds crazy to say it like that, but I don't respect him. Not saying that he can't catch the ball or anything like that, but your team don't respect you and think that you can get the separation and get open. So why I would rather go double hutch, and that's saying a lot because he don't get no separation.
Except for that,
but I'm just watching, but I'm done with that. That's just how I feel. I don't mind picking up receivers that if they're not receivers with attitudes or things like that, I don't mind. But like the receivers with attitudes or an Odell Beckham, no disrespect to Odell Beckham. He is a Super Bowl champion. He was a big part of why they won that Super Bowl, even though he got hurt. I don't have respect for that type of. Now, don't get me wrong. Like an AJ Brown, I know he on the sidelines reading a book, but AJ Brown is still producing. These guys are getting moved. Deontay Johnson has been on the Ravens twice this year.
Yeah,
I ain't never seen that before. All right, well, let me ask you this. I gotta ask you this, Chris. Even though I know it's probably gonna put myself out there and just get in the Raiders street, would you bring back D-Hop next year?
Okay, so the D-Hop thing, I wouldn't have a problem with it because it's not D-Hop. Now, I know that D-Hop had a little bit of complaining about money or whatever, but on the flip side, whatever. First of all, you don't have to pay. My problem with the D-Hop thing was not D-Hop, not him asking for money because they didn't have to give him shit. They didn't have to give him shit. Like I'm being straight up, they didn't have to give him shit. You know what my problem about the D-Hop thing is? We got a fucking second round pick and a bag of chips and a broke down running back for him.
Yeah, let's not talk about that trade. It's not. No, that trade is.
But D-Hop,
it's worse. It's worse than the Laramie Tunsil trade. It actually is.
But D-Hop, I think he would be at least a possession receiver. Like, you know, I don't think D-Hop would be a locker room cancer. That's the problem. And everybody loves D-Hop in Houston. You know, even though we know that he wanted money or whatever, everybody loves D-Hop. We didn't know Deontay Johnson, and if anybody paid any attention, Deontay Johnson, nobody wanted him. Like, for that simple fact. D-Hop seems to be doing fine with Patrick Mahomes. He did fine with Deshaun Watson. So I wouldn't mind having him back. I think he would be fine for CJ as a possession receiver, good third down receiver along with Nico.
I wouldn't hate that at all.
I'm just bringing it up early because it's.
Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. I don't think it's going to happen. I think
he still holds beef against the Texans organization for that. So I don't think he would do that. But if it happened, I'm not going to be upset about it.
Yeah, but that was Bill O'Brien and the people that did that, Bill O'Brien, Jack Easterby, they are not here no longer. Now, if you want to hold that against the Texans organization, just like think about it like this. So like then I don't want them to come here. If you want to hold it because didn't D'Amico have issues with the Texans organization?
D'Amico
from what I remember,
sued the Texans.
My point exactly.
He sued the Texans and won.
and what is he now? What is he now? A motherfucking head coach. So DeAndre Hopkins, if you want to hold shit against the Texans, take a picture, take a part out of D'Amico Ryan's book and get the fuck over it. You're a grown man. Because D'Amico Ryan, he wanted to come here and coach. He had to have wanted to come here and coach. This wasn't his only coaching position.
Arian Foster most recently was just the the hometown hero for this past game. You knew he had beef with the Texans too.
Exactly. It's a whole new regime. You want to still hold things against the Texans when people are long gone. I don't want you here. That's my whole point. If you don't want to be a Texan, do not bring your ass here.
Well said. Look, let's get into the preview here. So, injuries. The only person who did not participate today for the Houston Texans, Robert Woods. There was not one person for the Kansas City Chiefs that did not participate, as they have obviously coming off the bye week in the wild card. They played their backups in week 18. They haven't actually played their starters since Christmas. So, rust? Perhaps.
No, I'm not going to say that.
I would love for it to be that. There might be a few players that have rust on them, but it won't be the ones that we give a shit about.
Yeah. Exactly. I like that because I agree.
Yeah. It does seem like we're going to have, again, the most full power that we've been outside of any time we had Petrie and Ward in the lineup. But probably looking at like 90% strength here on defense. We saw what it did last week to the Chargers. How are we feeling about this defense carrying it over to another game? Can we carry this momentum forward on the defense and make Mahomes' life as much hell as we did to Justin Herb's?
If anything, that I would say, who's going to be this game's Lad McConkey?
Nobody.
No, somebody. Every game we play, even when we shut them down, there's always one guy that's effective. With the Colts, it was Alec Pierce. We're holding everybody else, but Alec Pierce gets loose.
What was a really big defensive game that we had where the defense really just kind of played their ass off? The Dolphins game most recently?
Shit.
Yeah.
Dolphins game, Detroit.
Detroit was one. I mean, because they didn't. The only receiver I would say really that there was also even though he didn't have a lot of catches, he had really big catches for the Detroit game was Jameson Williams. I know Amon-Ra St. Brown had his. He's him. But
we shut St. Brown down.
Yeah, Jameson Williams caught some balls that he shouldn't have caught. Like that's how how clutch he was in that aspect.
And like you said, Curtis, against the Dolphins, nobody did except for the tight end. Their tight end killed us.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking, who is it gonna be for them?
I would say Xavier Worthy.
Nah.
The only reason is because Marquise Brown's back. So Xavier Worthy, and the thing about it is people, even though I don't think Hollywood Brown is just like that dude, this is his third team he's been on. So you ain't been that dude nowhere else. So I believe that he's going to get more attention than Xavier Worthy, and it's going to open a lot of things up for him.
They're both fast. That's what they have going for them. They're fast.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this: if we put somebody other than Stingley or Lassiter on D-Hop's going to get his against us.
Yeah.
And we ain't even brought up Juju's. We ain't even brought up Juju's bitch ass.
You didn't need to, though. I don't see him being a factor. I don't see him being a factor. What's going to happen is they're going to get Travis Kelce going early because he's getting old, so you got to get him going early because he ain't going to be able to go the whole game. I don't care how much rest he done had. You got to get him going early. They're going to get him going early. D-Hop's going to have like 3, maybe 4 catches, if even that. And then they're gonna put their focus on Hollywood and Hollywood and Xavier Worthy because they don't want them to get behind them. I know they got to still catch the ball, but still.
I see a lot of cover 3 and not that much man.
Well, look, I was trying to look it up earlier. I got real distracted. The last time we played Kansas City, they tried to run the ball with the running backs in particular. 20 times, but ran the ball a total of 18, 5 of those coming from Mahomes and 3 from Worthy. Wasn't necessarily like, I mean, just between the running backs, it was 20 carries for 81 yards and a touchdown. That's without Foley and Aziz. If we can stop the running game, most of what they're going to try to build on will be harder on them. There'll be a lot more situations where on 3rd and long, we can send Danico Autry, Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson Jr., and the whoever at the 4th D tackle spot with that being like Foley or Tim Settle or whoever. Mm-hmm. I think the pressure on Patrick Mahomes is the most paramount thing this entire game. You stop the run and you keep that pressure on Mahomes, I think we can repeat this performance that we had in the wild card, and we might just be peaking.
At the right. The thing is, when we look at it and you look at what Kansas City does good, they are actually very similar to this Los Angeles thing we just played, except for Los Angeles offensive line is actually better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've had kind of a rotating chair at left tackle until Tooney's been there.
Pacheco, how much better is he than J.K. Dobbins?
Well, the last time he played us, again, this was without Foley. He had 9 carries for 26 yards.
He was not good. Kareem Hunt did a lot better.
Kareem was 11 for 55.
It sounds exactly like J.K. Dobbins' day.
Yeah.
That's almost identical to J.K.'s day.
Yeah.
And it's going to be worse with Foley being back and Aziz being back. Those are really the only two that matter. We raved about Christian Harris mattering forever, but he obviously right now does not matter. His first game back, he had the most tackles that he's had, and he did nothing since. So I'm not going to now unless something changes and we can count on him. But also we got Danico Autry. I know he's hurting, but we still have him. We got Derek Barnett, who might get a scoop and score.
And even with all of that being said, Henry To'oTo'o is a better run defender anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
He has been for his whole career. He's been a better run defender.
And I imagine if for some reason Harris can't suit up, they'll activate Devin White again, who I think he played a little bit last week, but no, he might have been a healthy scratch.
No, he was a healthy scratch last week.
Yeah. Regardless.
But even with all that being said, who would you rather? Would you rather Devin White or Jake Hansen?
I mean, definitely Devin White.
Jake Hansen hasn't played. He hasn't played bad. He's just.
I only say Devin White because of the experience more than anything.
The experience. I think Devin White's got the athletic upside.
He has the hardware.
Yeah.
So he's a better football. I don't know why y'all just want to say he's a better football player. Just be honest.
I mean, he is. That's just what it is. But
I mean, he is.
I love my body slamming suplex linebacker, but I'd still rather have Devin White than even him.
Yeah, same.
Oh yeah, because I think he might be a penalty problem. So there's also that.
No more than Aziz. Anyway,
Aziz will be. Aziz is totally worth it though.
So there's been a little bit of disrespect tossed to this entire team in the past week. We answer the bell. Now there's disrespect because some people aren't getting the shine they should because other people on the team are shining very brightly. That namely being Kalen Bullock being outshined by Kamari Laster and Derek Stingley, even though as a rookie, he just like Kamari, I think he was tied on the team for interceptions at the end.
Yeah.
So I mean, damn solid for a rookie safety that we thought was going to be rotational in his first year.
Project is what they called because he couldn't tackle.
Yeah.
To play safety for the Texans, you got to be able to tackle.
Yep.
Shit.
Done pretty good so far.
Yep.
Yep. So to all those who don't know, Kalen Bullock is a badass. Rookie safety out of USC, 6'2"-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, about 190. Could probably stand to gain, 5-10 more pounds. And
20.
well, yeah. I mean, any amount of weight at this point would be better, but he's got to do it the right way. And I assume because he's a professional athlete that it will be put on the right way, but we've seen it in the past where it's not. David Boston.
Oh, professional bodybuilder David Boston.
Yeah. Who needs to have the bigger day to secure the win? John Mechie, Dalton Schultz, Shaq Mason.
Oh my God.
Oh, God damn.
Like, I already had my answer until you got to that last one. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely Shaq Mason.
It's definitely Shaq Mason.
I was
Dalton Schultz till you hit me with that last one.
I was definitely gonna say Dalton Schultz, but you said you got the Shaq Mason, and okay, so it's Shaq Mason, and here's why. Because our offensive line is doo-doo, and they're gonna run straight through him and juice. Oh my God, that's my problem. It's like when you mention Shaq Mason, you remind me that Juice Scruggs is gonna be standing next to him on the left side of him at center. So that's a problem. So so here's why Shaq Mason needs to have a big day. You need to make up for you and Juice's deficiencies.
Yep.
Chris Jones is gonna line up in front of Shaq Mason all damn day.
Yep. Shaq's got to rely on his veteran knowledge. He's going to have to rely on communication. For those who are not aware, Shaq is back in the starting lineup at right guard. And there was several different occasions during practice today where they were running with the ones with that formation. Juice at center, Shaq at right guard. Not good, in my opinion. I think the last couple weeks, the offensive line we've had has been probably the best it's going to be. And why mess with why mess with it? We let up 3 sacks. Absolutely. Then I get that. But
bro, we give up 8 a game. So 3's great.
And there was to the people, it wasn't interior pass rush. You know what I mean? Like it was Laramie Tunsil got his ass whooped by.
Oh yeah, the first one was on Tunsil. The first second that he got was on Tunsil.
And then
Khalil Mack worked his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Khalil Mack one, it did come on the interior, but it was like a delay. Or no, what? Let me rephrase. They had him come around the back towards the interior. That's the reason he got his sack. It was just one of those.
Yeah.
Much as I said, Chris, it's called a delayed stunt.
There you
which
go.
has killed us all year long.
Yeah.
It's a stunt.
Yeah. So which is why you're gonna need a lot of help from running backs. Like, oh my God, man, like I'm just of the mindset. If you're gonna do that, you might as well put Kenyon Green in. I've been saying this for weeks. I get it. Kenyon Green's bad. He's horrible, but whatever. You might as well put Kenyon Green at right guard if you're gonna do that.
The fact that Kenyon Green's healthy.
I'm just. Oh, this just sickens me, man. Like, at least try it. Like, it just sickens me. What is it gonna hurt now that you didn't put Shaq? He's old. At least Kenyon's young, but maybe Kenyon's not showing something in practice because I feel like he will be playing. Everybody's playing for him now.
We had this conversation once before, but the crazy thing about it, Shaq Mason's not old. He's not.
Yeah, he's like 31, 32.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's not old for a guard, but I don't know. And isn't he a Super Bowl champion?
Yes.
Yeah, he won one with the Patriots and the Bucks. He's 2-time.
Shit, is it 3 times?
Probably 3.
It's probably 3 because he was there.
Which is why he's back. That's the only reason he's back. Uh, it's because it's the hardware. Man, sometimes it's just the hardware that keeps people getting jobs. Like oh my God, like Bill Belichick kept his job in New England too long, but we know why. Six-year Super Bowl champion, and whatever, he made the playoffs with Matt Jones and then ruined them. But that's besides the point.
He had a little bit of Bill O'Brien in him. He shouldn't have been the GM. I think Belichick is another one of those guys who could probably still coach, but you can't let him choose the players anymore.
I don't know. Well, maybe not anymore, but for a while there, that was
he had been choosing them. He had been choosing them for the better half of a decade.
Yeah,
and it worked.
Yeah,
for a better half of a decade, it worked.
But it also works when you have Tom Brady. That's actually, we understand Tom Brady wasn't the best athlete or whatever, and we understand that they had great defenses and things like that. But Tom Brady was always that quarterback that you knew he better not get that ball last.
But with all of that being said, Belichick chose that entire defense. All those guys are him. Gronkowski, it was him. Julian Edelman was him. Wes Welker was him. He did a good job as a GM for many, many years. But then he kept trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
While the game's changing, but he's not. It's the only thing about old coaches, man. When these new coaches start coming in and start doing new things, man, you gotta change with the wave. Which whatever, fine. But
and I'm gonna say, Curtis, that's why Jeff Fisher is not a head coach.
It's funny that you bring him up. He's actually I believe the GM/owner of the Nashville Arena football team.
Okay.
The Nashville Cats are back. Shout out Nashville Cats. Okay. So look, Shaq Mason needs to have the better game of Mechie and Dalton Schultz. I think we can all agree on that. On defense,
that's crazy. It's not even close.
No.
And I agree.
Who has to have a better game? Eric Murray, Miles Bryant, Foley Fatukasi.
Fuck me, that's actually hard.
That one is actually hard. But I'm gonna go with Miles Bryant because I think he's gonna have the worst game anyway. It's as bad as it sounds. What's called him will be fine.
Eric Murray is who I say. Because the thing is, if Eric Murray's playing bad and they have to get him off the field, who do they put in to replace him?
MJ Stewart.
Fuck no.
So he's not coming off the field.
Nope.
He played 100% of the snaps last week.
And that's my point exactly. If Miles Bryant's having a bad game, you can do some things to shift.
Sorry, he played 98%. Oh, I'm sorry.
Close
MJ Stewart came in for a good. I did see him at least one snap.
But Miles Bryant, if you have to take him out, you can shift Lassiter back inside if you really have to and play. Oh, I can't even say his name. That other guy, number 11.
Okay, so back to what I'm saying, Miles Bryant, because what you just said, you can't even say the man's name to bring him in, but
you don't have another option if Eric Murray isn't.
Last week, it looked as though they only played a total of 3 corners.
Miles Bryant, Kamari Lassiter, Derek Stingley.
Yeah. And Miles Bryant was on the field 77% of the snaps. Eric Murray was on the field for 98. Kalen Bullock, Kamari, and Derek Stingley all for 100.
In other words, we have no fucking backups.
Not trustworthy backups.
Yeah. So that's where we're at, held together by hopes and dreams. But if this defense can kind of play base 4-3 and sparingly play nickel, kind of like they were trying to do last week, I think that they'll be able to hold down Mahomes pretty well. So
and we got to get home with 4. I do not want to see. I do not want to see an aspect that we have to blitz, because I think a blitz would be a mistake. We have to get home with 4.
It's funny that you bring that up. In the preview I was watching, there was 2 different pressure stats for Patrick Mahomes. When he's blitzed, his passer rating is 97.1. When he's just pressured with rushing the down lineman, his passer rating is 71.2. So it is so crucial for Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter and company to get home as often as humanly possible. That's where we win
now,
this.
if it's like a 3rd and 18, I'm gonna have to live with Mahomes beating us on this blitz. Send them all. I'm gonna have
third and 18. I'm not blitzing at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
All four of my, and one of the defensive linemen might drop back into coverage too.
I'm sending them all. I'm gonna send them all.
And do you know there's this guy named Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy that are so fucking fast that you can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm sending them all.
The thing about it is the 4 down linemen, if they're getting there and giving Patrick Mahomes enough to where he has to think about them, that's when the blitz actually works even better.
Yeah.
I'm just
because you can all of a sudden Eric Murray can come on a blitz that they don't expect because you've been getting there with 4 linemen. You don't even have to blitz.
Oh no, I don't think they have to blitz, but I'm telling 3rd and 18, I'm blitzing. Even if you ain't gonna see him coming, but somebody coming. You ain't gonna see him. That's like 3rd and 18. Patrick Mahomes is gonna make too much time for himself and somehow find somebody. What it seems like always happens.
And the thing is, if you blitz him, he's throwing where you blitz from.
Yeah, he's smart enough to know where you're coming from. Literally.
Yeah, no, he'll see it.
Even if and that's the thing. When you bring a safety blitz, he goes right to the side where the blitz came from, wide open.
Yep.
Travis, I'm slow as fucking shit, Kelsey. And I don't want to see,
man.
I don't want to see that woman on camera. And y'all know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. We won't say her name for cheap views.
Yeah, no.
Man, so the thing about Travis Kelsey to me is, you know what I don't understand? Why does it seem like he's always wide open?
Because he's slow. Because he's slow and white. I'm just putting it out there. Let's call it what it is. Because the Dallas Cowboys had a slow white guy that always seemed to be fucking open.
Jason Witten.
Yeah.
Yep. Funny that you bring him up. There's actually been conversation between Jerry Jones and Jason Witten to be the next Cowboy head coach.
Oh, please do it, please.
Yes.
That'll be the dumbest thing ever. I heard that also. But like the big headlines, even though I think it's not going to happen, is Deion. No. But I think it's just for headline purposes that this is even being entertained for headlines, so we can talk about the Cowboys, even though they're not in the fucking playoffs.
Jerry Jones is the type of guy I think he would hire Deion just because it's gonna be for headlines.
Yeah,
I don't think Deion would take it. Is the thing.
So let me ask you guys this:
I don't want Deion to take it because I think the Cowboys will be good.
No, no.
I'm very terrified about Deion being the head coach of the Cowboys. No. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why Deion would do that either.
No. The guy that I think is going to end up taking the position is Kellen Moore. That's who I think they're going to bring back in to be head coach.
Interesting. All right. So let me ask you guys this, gentlemen. This is the biggest stage that the Texans have played on in franchise history. 5 other times we've gone to this part. No, 6 other times we've gone to this game and lost. Do you think CJ Stroud and this Texans team are actually capable of breaking this hump, getting over the hump, breaking the curse of the divisional round?
Yeah.
Georgia, CJ Stroud, fuck yes.
Okay.
Shit, last week CJ Stroud.
No. Last week CJ Stroud, there was some mistakes made.
True.
Georgia, C.J. Stroud, there was not a mistake made that entire game. That's still one of the best games of college football I've ever seen played by a quarterback.
This is when we
to
found
still
out.
Lose. To still lose the game.
Yeah. Well, I asked that because historically speaking, when CJ's not playing at home, his yards per game is about 100 yards lower, and he's definitely more likely to throw an interception. Do you think CJ is ready for this stage? Because
I think he is.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be an issue of the stage being too big for him. I don't think that's going to be the issue.
Okay.
And I always knew that we would end up having to play the Chiefs in the playoffs, particularly this round.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think that even regardless if we would have played Pittsburgh or we would have beat them too, I always felt that way. Even with how bad we were playing, I always felt like we were going to play the Chiefs in the second round. And this is our get back. We're going to have players healthy. And then also, like, my only issue is we're a dome team, and it's going to be cold there. And people be like, "Oh, CJ played at Ohio State. He knows what it's like to be cold." He don't know what it's like to be cold for 2 years, and I'm going to stand by that. I am going to stand by that. He don't know what it's like to be cold for 2 years, and he's used to playing in a dome. And it's not just CJ; it's a lot of other players.
Except for the fact that Baltimore game last year was cold as shit too.
It's going to be colder than the Baltimore game, and actually,
it wasn't
even that cold for the Baltimore game. It's going to be colder. This game, it's going to be like 17. It was nowhere near that cold.
Oh, no. I thought it was supposed to be in the 30s. Oh,
let me go. Oh, no, we're playing Saturday, right? That's Sunday. Yeah. That's Sunday.
Yeah.
But still, it's colder. It gets colder at Arrowhead than it does in Baltimore.
But the thing about it, what needs to happen is
24.
Joe Mixon is the guy that needs to be effective.
Okay, so Joe Mixon, I would live with Joe Mixon would fare better weather in the cold than anybody else. He played in Cincinnati for quite a while.
Yeah.
So,
Joe, the type of running that you're gonna have to do in cold weather is Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
They slam into people. And as a guy who's played in cold weather, bro, you get tired of people hitting against you when it's cold as shit out there. Mm-hmm. You're looking for something else to do. Like, bro, I don't want to do this no more.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, Kansas City, even their defense, it hasn't been that cold in Kansas City this year, right? This is going to be probably their coldest game this year so far, too.
Well, it's also going to be cold outside, and they're coming off of a long stretch of not playing fucking football. We're talking about what? There's
3 weeks.
3 weeks of football that they have not played. That's extended rest. In the past, I've seen teams collapse from that.
Yeah.
Also, something to think about. How many people do you think are rooting for us this week because they just don't want to see another Chiefs Super Bowl?
If I had the money, I'd put some in at Vegas right now.
Well, the line is not favoring us at all. It's 8.5 in favor of Kansas City.
Which means if it happens to happen, you're getting paid.
Yep. I mean, that's true. And nobody thinks we're going to win. Nobody, like, everybody's like, oh, we're going to, even if you guys do, we're going to play Baltimore next round. I don't know that they're going to just squeak by or just annihilate Buffalo like that.
I hope they annihilate Buffalo and we beat Kansas City because I want to play Baltimore again, too. We already beat Buffalo.
I don't know. I want to. I'd rather play Buffalo. Like
I would too. I don't really want to see that guy again.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have Foley. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't have. I'm taking my chances with Baltimore. We lose. But that's just the thing about it. Because I don't think that Buffalo's going to beat Baltimore.
Yeah, but I feel like if we end up beating Kansas City and then losing to the Ravens, we're the team that helped Lamar get over the hump.
And I don't want that.
No. I would rather be the one that sends the Bills to the Super Bowl to lose again, inevitably. Because
and the thing is, I would so love for CJ Stroud and Lamar Jackson to both be tied for 3 playoff wins for their career.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. The over-under in this game is kind of low, in my opinion. 41.5.
41.5?
Sounds about right. It was low. It was low last time too. That sounds about right. They don't expect the Chiefs. You gotta understand. They don't expect the Chiefs to score a lot of points. They also don't expect us to score a lot of points because it's going to be cold, which I completely understand.
Well, they clearly expect us to score 8.5 less points.
Damn, there I go with that freezing thing. There we go.
Oh my God, man! I'm looking at like the tickets like for the games. The Detroit game is crazy. Their tickets are starting at $400.
Oh man!
Oh my God! Like nobody else is anywhere near. The closest is the Rams and the Eagles, and starting at $200, but starting at $400 is crazy.
Not I.
Oh my God!
All right, gentlemen.
What are we thinking? What are we thinking, guys?
What are the predictions here?
I hadn't even been thinking about that.
I'll start us off.
I got this.
Okay, hit us.
24-14 Houston.
24-14, a 10-point dub. I love it. Mm-hmm. What do you think has to happen for that for your outcome?
One, if we can completely shut down the rush from Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes and that bullshit rollout of the play action doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. And when play action doesn't work, how they say it's time to go hunt, we go and hunt.
Yep.
And I don't see this game finishing out with Daniil not getting a sack.
Yeah. No,
I don't think it does.
That does.
Daniil wants that ring probably more than anybody.
38. It does put you under 41.5.
Call it what it is. I actually think that 41.5 is a little high. I expect this to be a defensive game. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely has the potential for that with 2 of the top 10 defenses. And, one of the more interesting stats that the Chiefs defense has, they're like bottom 5 in third down efficiency. But they're like top 5 in red zone defense.
So in other words, score from deep.
Essentially. I mean, that's where the Tank Dell touchdown came from last time. Interesting.
I need them to wear those Tank Dell dedication T-shirts again.
For real. Chris, what are you thinking prediction-wise?
24-21. Obviously, Houston.
Okay. What do you think has to happen for 24-21 to happen?
The last second drive from CJ Stroud, field goal by Kami Fairbairn.
To prevent overtime. I love it. Okay. I'm going to go 20-17.
Y'all don't like my heart. Y'all going to have my heart stop trying to watch this.
20-17. I think realistically, I think that this game is ultra competitive throughout. I think in the second half, Houston does just enough to kind of come back from a 10-17 deficit at halftime. Scores 10 points in the second half, shutting out the Chiefs' offense, and moving on to the divisional or to the championship game for the first time.
Bro, that's a movie. That's a movie.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The defense we've played, the defense we played against the Chargers was actually an historic defensive performance. We were the first team since the 2000 Baltimore Ravens to play one opponent and cause both 4 sacks and 4 interceptions. 5 total turnovers.
Oh yeah, because they fumbled too. I missed that fumble that they had, but I knew they fumbled.
Yeah. So we're playing really good football right now on defense. If the defense comes out with half the turnovers and maybe 5 sacks, 6 sacks, I think we end up winning this game.
Yeah, I can see that. And the thing is, this is actually what we brought D'Amico here for.
Mm-hmm.
This is why D'Amico's the head coach. It's like, if we're not being crappy or anything, that when we hired him as our head coach, he was the best defensive mind in the NFL.
Yep.
That was his claim to fame. That's including the guy that brought him in. He was considered a better defensive coordinator than Robert Saleh.
True. And this brings up an interesting point. The last time we played the Chiefs, after Tank Dell left the game with a career-ending potential injury, the offense couldn't really move the ball. How much of that do you think was Spags just knowing that the rest of the wide receiver room wasn't necessarily anything to write home about? And how much of that do you think was the Texans distracted by Tank Dell?
A little bit of both.
I think it was a lot of being distracted by Tank Dell. Because me as a fan watching the game, do you know how hard it was for me to even get back into it? Like, and Tank Dell, bro, CJ was crying on national television.
Yeah.
And it carried over into the Baltimore game if it wasn't obvious.
Yeah.
It obviously carried over into the Baltimore game.
It took Tank being diagnosed with, hey, he's going to be fine. At this point, they know his career is not over. It's a tough road back, but his career is not over. It got into a point where the way to get them pumped up, Rex Ryan helped, but the other was win this one for Tank.
Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of people still doubting them. I hope they still been adding to the bulletin board for motivation. But, this is the toughest test the franchise has ever played. We're up against the best team of the last 3 years, and it's not even close.
They're the Super Bowl champions. They're defending
trying to
champions.
go 3 years running.
Fuck that.
We got to step up to the plate. This has got to be an all-around performance. And one of the things that I'm going to be watching the most is Bobby Slowik's creativity with Nico Collins. Trent McDuffie is going to be on him like white on rice on a paper plate in the middle of a snowstorm. Like, that's probably.
And I don't think Trent can hold.
Well, he didn't necessarily do terrible last time. He was in tight enough coverage to where CJ thought he had to throw the ball a little high to give Nico a shot.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I mean, he targeted Nico 10 times. Nico had 7 receptions, so.
What was his yards output for the game?
60. Because Tank had the most yards with 98.
Right. Did Nico score?
No.
Okay. That's our best wide receiver. If he's going to be completely neutralized, then what Bobby Slowik does with him and with the rest of the guys is almost as important as what the hell Shaq Mason is doing.
Yeah. Dalton Schultz, step the fuck up, man.
Everybody has to step the fuck up. You gotta get rookies playing like they're seasoned vets. You gotta get seasoned vets playing like they're trying to get into Canton.
But of all those pass catchers, who has the highest expectations?
It's Schultz.
No, Schultz.
It
is Schultz.
My bad. Yeah. I think you just meant wide receivers. Yeah, no, I agree, Schultz.
It's Schultz.
Schultz becomes your essential target number 2, and then you have Mechie, and you're probably going to be using Joe Mixon. I actually think Joe Mixon becomes a little bit more use in the passing game, and we'll probably see more Daria Gumbuale and Dameon Pierce throughout this game. because
You know
of how
what?
much they're going to have to use Joe.
I would do something dumb. It sounds dumb because most people don't think about it like that. But what does San Francisco do with Christian McCaffrey? Actually put Joe Mixon in the slot.
Yeah.
Line him up as a receiver. Don't put him in motion. Let him from the start. And like, what the fuck? Joe Mixon's right here. Damian Pierce is in the backfield.
Yeah.
What are they running?
Okay, so like, but this is my thing. Dalton Schultz has to step up. He was only targeted 4 times last game. He caught 2 of those.
One of those was the Derwin James almost interception. And
I thought that was on Stover. That was on Stover.
No.
That was Schultz.
That was Schultz? I thought that was Stover.
No, that was Schultz.
Hell no, that was Schultz.
Stover caught all of his. Stover caught all his. You're right.
Because we had the conversation in fact of we all know Schultz can't jump over a phone book.
Yeah,
jump ball.
You're right. That's my bad. And we don't even have him.
That's on CJ. That's on CJ. That's one of the ones if Bobby caught that into his headset, CJ needs to look back over the sideline like, what?
It's just because, every once in a while this fool has like this crazy catch that you forget he can make because he's so fucking lazy.
But he's never out jumping anybody.
I don't know.
Dalton Schultz is strong as shit. He is strong.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, like I hate that we don't have K Stover. I just, oh man, that sucks. Who cares about Deontay Johnson?
If TQ's back though, TQ's a solid blocker, and then you just got to hope that Irv Smith can do something as well.
No, the biggest issue is K Stover's our fullback.
Yeah, but TQ's been around. He knows he's been doing this.
He should be able to.
Yeah,
he should be able to do that.
Kenyon Green, we got a job for you.
Been saying it for a while. Hey, we also know somebody else who actually did this already. That's already on the team, and that would be Kendrick Green.
Facts.
So
he played fullback before Pittsburgh gave up on him.
Exactly. So if we're feeling crazy, I guess we could do something like that. But I think. Go ahead.
That's a real heavy formation right there.
Mm-hmm. I think John Mechie's going to get targeted a lot like he was last game. So I'm going to need him to step up also. He's going to need
Robert Woods on the field. If Robert Woods is on the field, I feel so much better about our wide receiver situation.
I don't think he's hurt. At first, wasn't he out because of rest?
I think that's probably the reason he's not.
No,
he's going to play.
Wednesday.
He's going to play.
Tuesday he was out because of rest. Wednesday, what the fuck?
He's gonna play. I don't think he's not gonna play because the thing about it is who's gonna stand back there and catch the punt returns. Even if you're just you can't say Damian Pierce. Like
exactly.
It's Hutch. That's who did it against Tennessee.
It's Hutch. Hutch returned kicks in college. That's why I was surprised that he finally got back there.
His injury designation, Robert Woods, is hip.
Yeah, I saw that.
What was it Tuesday?
It just says hip. It doesn't give me a different picture.
Oh okay. So
and this is Tuesdays.
Okay, so it's hip.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure John Mechie and Joe Mixon aren't going to fumble the ball again like last time. We just need CJ to cut down on interceptions, meaning 0.
Yep.
Meaning 0.
Is Stickum still banned in the NFL?
Sure is.
God damn
it. Yeah, look, we're going to need all hands on deck and everybody playing all the fuck out every play. But it is doable. These guys are not they're not unbeatable. We've seen so many teams get within a millimeter of getting it done. We can be that team.
Gonna need Blake Fisher to step up because Karloff is gonna line up in front of him all day.
Yeah,
he's not even gonna test Laramie. He's gonna stay the hell away from Laramie's side.
Wow, there wouldn't even be no reason to.
Right. Well, look, gentlemen, I think this is a good spot to go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank you both for coming on and talking this evening. Head on over to That's Crazy Podcast and Talk. Support Chris and his channel's growth, head on over to at Mass3 Productions across all the social medias. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Do the same thing here while you're at it. We're talking about 15, 20 seconds of your life, clicking some buttons and helping us grow. Please help us do it. It helps a lot. We're at 250 subscribers. Need that number to keep climbing. Without any further ado, folks, thank you for watching. Be good people. Go Texans.
Go Texans.